Greetings. Welcome to the IFC MidKnights. Uh, your hostess tonight is Mary.
It's I,
Yes,
me, Mary.
that's right. And we're joined by Mr. Ben from Cadaver Club. Will be here right there in his usual
The
spot.
Princess Wave.
I think Ben's sort of like our Paul Lynde in Hollywood Squares. He's like, he's just like the constant.
That was a
Uh,
good square.
and of course, I'm Patrick. And normally we would see our fourth would be our good friend Haas, and but things have gotten busy for Haas, so he's gonna probably take a couple of months off, 2 3 months off, to enjoy some family time. It's summertime, so of course we'll be holding his seat for him when he comes back. So so don't despair. He will return. The man who brought us the den will return, uh, hopefully soon. Mary, why don't you tell us about what we're doing tonight?
Who did Bound for Vengeance? Whose was that? Was that yours? Okay. That was
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Uh, well, I did that one. I did that one after Haas. He showed us the den. Man, that den with den,
They
the
were
den.
bound for vengeance in the den.
That's exactly what it was. And
Now
so,
they're heading for the Devil's Gate.
speaking of Bound for Vengeance, real quick, that is now our number one viewed show in the ISC Midnights. It finally passed the Human Centipede.
Oh boy. I I just watched that with my son not that long ago. We were like, oh.
Did you like the Centipede?
Nah, it's all right. Just the
Yeah,
guy that plays in it is creepy enough. He doesn't have
it,
to do
it,
anything to show up. He's creepy.
he's very creepy. I promise you, I'll be curious to see how you feel after you watch The Silence of the Lambs,
Oh, I
and
like
then
that.
you compare it to the Centipede. I want to see which one you like gets underneath your skin a little bit more.
Well, Silence of the Lambs I'm used to, but I've seen it so many times. You know,
Yeah, the
I could put
Centipede.
it in.
Yeah, me too. And then I saw the Centipede. Thanks, Coriander. So we saw the Centipede, and man, it creeped me the hell out. But it's a good movie. But it's creepy as hell.
Yeah, it is. And there's three of them, I think.
Yeah, the third one's like, ugh, this is not that good at all. No, the third one I heard is trash. I heard the second one is the best one. And if you watch it in black and white, it's even better.
Ben says,
It's better than the colorized version, but it's not the first one's the best one. The
You like
second
the
one
first
is
one?
yeah, the second one is an interesting follow up, and if you watch it in color, it ruins it. But in black
Oh,
and white, it's much better. And
yeah,
then
I
the
heard.
third one's basically unwatchable.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
went
know
to
it was black and white.
they went to the Pede one time too many.
Wasn't too many peds.
One too many beats.
Well, tonight we are doing Devil's Gate 2000. Is it 17 or 18? As I seen.
17.
Yeah. And I have this cover
I'm gonna change mine over after this is
for
over.
the alternate.
I think you did it right.
Did you have that one, Ben?
No, I don't own it.
Or did you Tubi it? I don't know if it's on Tubi.
No,
Uh,
they took it off already.
Yeah, I forgot to see where it played free for people to watch it.
I watched it free somehow. Oh wait, no, did I? I think I had to like pirate it or something.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I thought it was free somewhere.
They did. They played it on Tubi last month.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's where I
last month.
saw it. Yeah, it was on Tubi, but I own it. But I don't want to watch the ads. I want to own it.
Tubi dropped a lot of IFC movies on their channel. So in fact, I watched The Dry. I watched that with had Eric Banya in it. He plays a cop, and I watched that on Tubi.
Nice. I'll have to get it up on my other Fire Stick too. So what are your favorite guy from Star Trek there? Was it William T. Riker's in it? From Star Trek, the next gen.
That's right. Me and Ben
And
were talking about that right before you got here, and we were wondering how they got him to come up and do, because he hasn't done any acting. He doesn't do acting very much anymore. You know, he pretty much directs and he produces. So like that was actually what caught my attention when
it
I
was
saw
sci-fi. He likes sci-fi. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll go do that one too. What's Conrad is the cop, the young deputy, right? That's his
Colt,
name.
Colt Salters.
And Pritchard, is that what's his first name? Jackson Pritchard.
Yep.
It's his house that all this shit starts to happen at. Like the car breaks down on the way there. Whoever that guy is.
Man,
Nice car, right?
it was a nice car, and I thought the opening scene worked really well because of what they didn't do, and that is they didn't have any background score. It was no score. There was no music. I think it made it a lot more effective. You knew something was going to happen to the guy. Like, we just didn't know what was going to happen. But when we saw what happened, it was like, holy, like.
Well, your car dies. That just sucks.
You know what? I don't know what was more dead, his car or him.
And the phone, yeah. First,
there was some strong TCM vibes in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really like his car, though.
Challenger.
Yeah. Look fast.
Yeah, and it died in that area. That area is like a dead zone, I guess. It's like my house. You go in a bedroom, you lose all your Wi-Fi, and you can't even get cell phone service.
Really?
It's like the walls are made of lead or something.
Mm.
Let's say, well, he hit some booby traps going up to the farm. He figures he'll go up to the farm and he'll get some help.
Yeah.
And he hears the screaming inside, which.
And the dog.
And the dog, yeah, nonstop barking. And then, excuse me, there we go.
I think you heard you hear the generator too, or no?
Huh?
Did he turn on the generator, or did he just hear Jackson?
I think it was clicking on, and that's why he did go walking to the back. Like, he heard something click on. Yeah, he had a generator set up. I guess that's the only way you can get electric out there in the middle of nowhere. And that's definitely where they were. It was nowhere. Middle of nowhere. And they, he could hear him screaming, so he tried to get in the house, but did he get a booby trap on the porch or no?
No.
He didn't get one on the porch.
I hear the generator. And then he heard the dog. Then he started because he saw Jackson, and then he started backing out, heard me out. Then he started backing out, and he hit the bear trap.
That's right, because oh man, yeah,
it's the second movie in a row that we've done a bear trap in.
No shit, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the hunter.
Right.
That was pretty big too. I don't know which one was bigger.
I don't know either. All I know is that guy. I was expecting him. I expected what happened in Hunter x Hunter. I expected it to happen to him. I thought he would, when he started backing up. I thought for sure he was going to get one on his hand too.
So did I. Yeah. That's because of Hunter x Hunter.
Right.
No, he got out of this one, and that's when he got that. I don't know, is a mattress with spikes on it or something. It demolished him. That
Yeah.
was pretty cool
That was
at first
he,
thing.
he just it almost looked like he went out on a puff of feathers.
Whoops.
What do you think? What did you think, Ben, of the first 5 minutes of that poor guy? You know what? Though, I was wondering, would Jackson have gotten in trouble for that or not?
I don't think you
Because
can put lethal booby traps on your. I think there's some probably law against lethal booby traps. You
well,
know.
I'm just saying the way he had his.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me go take mine down then.
Oh, well, I was thinking because he had no trespassing signs on his property, and his gate was shut. I mean, he did, in theory, break that and went in. I was just curious, like, what would I mean?
But you can't kill people for trespassing. There has to be like you have to have your life threatened, basically self-defense, or be in fear that there's that happening. But if you're like went to the grocery store and someone could go on your property and just die because of a booby trap, that's not really like self-defense, and you weren't in any danger, right?
Yeah.
So it means I have
Don't tiger traps.
It means I can't have Paladin outside anymore. Then
no, he would rip their ankles apart.
Damn it! Thanks, Ben. Yeah, but he definitely he didn't like I said, I don't know what was deader, his car or him, because he died horrible, but he probably didn't have a chance to say anything. He was just gone. And it really, to me, it emphasized just how serious Jackson was. Like something is after him, and
He's intense.
Yeah.
Then they kind of flashed to that one guy. What's his name? Conrad, or what is the deputy's name?
Colt.
Colt. Why I thought his name was Conrad at some part. I thought I heard her call him that. He picks her up, the special agent Daria, at the airport to come investigate because she's heard stuff going down in town. I guess the sister put a report in of her sister being missing, and it's Jackson. Is it Jackson Pritchard's wife?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's not the one that said that she's missing, but the sister said she's missing. So they came out.
Her son.
Yeah, and her son. Whatever, I can't. I wrote it down. Whatever the heck his name was.
Jonah.
Jonah, like the whale. And then they flash to Jackson, and he's going out in the yard with his dog, and he goes and buries the guy stuck to the mattress.
I have
at least what it looks like, a mattress with like a bunch of swords on it.
I have a feeling that wasn't the only one that he's buried on there.
Right. It was pretty easy for him to do. The dog even knew his job.
What did you think, Ben? Do you think that Jackson had done something like that before?
Well, I mean, at that point, you feel like he's some kind of evil killer, because you don't know anything except for he's got someone or something locked up, and he's obviously a bit unhinged with booby traps on his shit. But yeah, he was completely unfazed by the fact that there was a dead dude in his yard. Completely unfazed. He wasn't even
it happens all the time, right?
He wasn't even like bothered, like he had to now, work to bury him and shit. He was just like, whatever.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, we've talked about a lot of people, buying the farm on the show, but I gotta tell you, that guy, it's got to be top 3. Probably the guy from Hunter x Hunter would probably be the first for me, and then probably Richard Tyson and Bound for Vengeance would be my second. But this guy here, he'd probably be my third. I mean, he died really That was a terrible way to go.
At least
But
it was quick for the guy.
yeah, but it's not. But the thing is, also later on we'll discuss that there's another one that's really, and two more that are really like above the average. As far as that goes. And this one thing this movie does not shy away on, and that is giving people some horrible deaths.
For sure. Then the deputy picked up the special agent and took her to the sheriff's office, and he shows up late and he's covered in blood, and he had just picked up a deer, and he made the deputy go pick it up and bring it in.
Oh, right, where she's waiting for the sheriff. Yes.
Yeah. Like, shake hands. I'm like, no.
Yes. I saw that. He still had blood on his hands when he went to shake her hand.
No, thank you. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah, that was interesting too. That when she got picked up, Agent Francis got picked up from the airport. When first time I saw this movie, I thought it was really unusual just to see a singular FBI agent. Right? You think that they come in pairs, but there's been other stories where they just sent one agent, and I guess that's actually commonplace.
Well, that's what they did in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
and they did that guy's house and asked him some questions. Yeah.
And it happened in Twin Peaks, just the one FBI agent. And then I'm reading a book right now where it's about just one FBI agent. I mean, they don't work in pairs, I guess, like regular detectives.
A little dangerous.
Yes. Hey, Corey, how are you, sir? Corey here. All right.
Drink.
Glad you're here. Devil's Gate from 2017 is the movie we're discussing tonight. I thought that
it's a pretty good one. A little sci-fi horror mix.
Yeah, I had no idea at all about the sci-fi part when I watched it.
I didn't either. I thought it was just horror. I thought it was a creature. I didn't know it was an alien creature.
Yeah, you thought it was just some sort of mutation at first until later on. I really liked Colt. I liked his character a lot. He was
he's nice because when he picked her up, he asked her if she was hungry and stuff, and
opened the door for her.
Yeah, he's very nice, gentleman. Yeah. But she's like, I'm independent. I do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I thought the interaction, after when Colt was out there trying to take that dead deer off the out of the sheriff's trunk when he walked in there, I mean, he went from being like, "Hi, how are you?" to like, I mean, he went from 0 to 10 in terms of aggression.
Yeah, he got feisty.
Yeah, right away. I mean,
like, we were already out there. You don't need to go out there. You don't need to investigate nothing out there. Yeah. We already went to his house. He can go see the sister, right?
And how about him just declaring right away that Jackson may be many things, but he's not our murderer? I mean,
no one said anything about murder.
Yeah, it was just like, wow, he's not capable of doing that. Anybody's capable of anything, and the sheriff should have known. But I thought his attitude was really was telltale. Definitely raised a red flag. Something
right. He knows stuff. He knows something. He's just not saying the whole story. Of
good
course.
Performance by I thought. I mean, have you watched Star Trek? Then you know who Jonathan Frakes is, right? Riker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was saying if Ben has ever watched any Star Trek. Oh, okay. What do you think of his performance when he came into the office? I mean,
Riker's I'm just going to call him Riker.
Riker.
I've only ever seen him in Star Trek, and he hosted some TV show also in the late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. But I hadn't seen him in so long. I recognized him by his voice at first. I thought his performance was okay. I thought his performance was pretty good. You know.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
bad.
it was good to see him too, because that's the first time I've seen him since Star Trek. As far as the actor goes, like I had mentioned that he had directed. He actually directed the the Thunderbirds movie, and the actually the young kid on there, his name is Corbett. Um, he ended up ended up turning out to be a Oscar worthy director. Brady Corbett started in Thunderbirds, and he went on to now he's a director. And he also produced the Librarians, the first series of the Librarians. He was like executive producer, so he definitely was still in the game. So it was a nice surprise to see him pop up. Okay, Mary. So now we're heading to the sister's house.
Yeah, they go to the sister's house, and the investigator finds the kid's notebook or something with these weird crop circle looking things in it. So she takes it with her, and they didn't stay there long. Though she showed where the little boy was going to sleep in some corner, I guess, and that they would come stay there when she got tired of him yelling, and he's been acting like a crazy person. That Jackson guy, Richard.
Yeah, it's getting worse. She said, like
Yeah.
And here they are, hearing about this, and they're telling, the sisters are telling Agent Francis how much more that he's become more violent and more temper, and you see the look that Colt's sitting straight ahead, looking straight ahead, and he's not going to even look to the side because there's Agent Francis staring holes through him, like, oh, I thought this guy was all right, he wouldn't hurt anybody, he's not capable of murder. And then here's the sisters just sitting there going like, yeah, he's pretty violent, he's pretty angry all the time, he's got a temper, and it's getting
And
worse.
she's had a bunch of miscarriages, she said.
Yeah,
her sister.
yeah, 6.
Oh no, that's a lot.
6. Might as well just call her miscarriage.
And then the old lady, I guess there's an old lady there. Like, go save her or something. Go save my grandchild. Get him away from that crazy man.
That's exactly how she sounded too. Exactly how she sounded. But I like the scene where they're telling him that, and Agent Francis just turns and looks straight over at Colton, and like, that he was feeling his gaze, like, no, what's this thing about this Jackson guy? You're not telling me, like he's, like
he's been in jail, and now there's complaints, and now that's where they go, is up to the farm.
Yeah.
And they see that cool car broke down and all the stuff's still inside, but its battery's dead. They can't get it going. So they see the farms right there. I bet you that's where he went. And they went to the farm.
You know what? That's one thing they didn't try. Like, they didn't. That's one thing I noticed too. Like, never once did they ask, like Jackson, like, where's that guy at? Because it's like it's like he's coming here, because they established that, when they're saying I can walk out to, they're going like, you're 30 miles from anywhere, you're not going to be walking out anywhere. And to me, it's like, why didn't I ask him about what happened to that guy? That he had.
Yeah, they really didn't, did they?
No. It was
blame the aliens. They did it.
Well, it's just a little bit of a plot hole. It's like, you would think that that's one of the first things they'd comment on was, they probably knew the guy too. Small town. Devil's Gate's probably a really small town,
right?
And it would have been like, and the thing too, and Colt didn't even, you would think Colt would know who that car was. Couldn't be too many of those around in Devil's Gate.
He could have been going through town now.
I mean, I think
Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say, I don't think that. I think he was just passing through.
Right.
Uh,
Driving through.
if he was like a resident, he would know. Oh, that dude, that fucking crazy dude over there. Like,
Don't drive past
Yeah.
that farm.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought maybe he did know. Yeah, I mean yeah. I mean he did have a box full of stuff.
It's like traveling. Like, a cop sees an empty car, you're not going to be like, "Hey, did you murder somebody?" I mean, it's just a car on the
No
fucking
way.
freeway. Maybe it ran
Or
out
at
of
least
gas.
ask, did you see? Did you see? I mean, they would know they would know that it was 30 miles out of nowhere, and they probably
Right.
would ask
They
them, like,
probably
did you see this
did. They
guy
say
coming to
something
the?
at one point.
Yeah.
They
Did he
they
borrow
didn't
your
say
phone?
anything.
No. Like, did he? Because especially as they found out their phones were dead. I mean, to me, it would have been like, okay, the car's dead. His phone would have been dead. He probably going to go to Jackson's, and they could tell that Jackson still had power because they could hear the generator. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, I would have just assumed that they would ask Jackson, like, hey, did anybody come up to you and ask borrow your phone or assistance because of his car? Because like Agent Francis says, is like, who's going to leave your car like that with all your stuff in it completely unlocked?
Yeah.
So I think that this it's and there's Jackson's farm right there. It was just something I noticed, rewatching it, that they never asked what happened to that guy if they had any encounters with him.
They're like, we just have to focus on the task at hand. These two people.
Well,
I'll
I mean,
swing back and
I
check
mean,
and see where that rock and roll dude is.
um, I thought I think, and when they walked up to the gate too, and Agent Francis is sitting there going like, like, so this is normal. This is
Right,
calm.
everything's boarded up, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't. He said it 3 days ago. It wasn't though,
yeah.
but
It wasn't crazy like this. He was his face was just like, he was just sort of like in awe of it. He was like, holy shit. It's like, 3 days ago, it was probably nothing like that on there.
yeah, they go to like knock on a door and the dog's barking and he comes down and they take him in already. They cuff him right then, don't they?
No. Remember, they come in and they get the radios to make sure the radios work, and then they start walking around the property. Like he's gonna go talk to Jackson, and then Agent Francis goes inside the barn, and then
Oh
she's
yeah, she finds the
investigating,
car, right?
right, the car that supposedly, according to the sheriff, that she just drove off with, drive off to see Minneapolis or whatnot, go to the Great Mall or something like that. And when he handed her the file, that her car was one of the top pictures. Like, there's her car that she would have been driving. But then she notices that the car that supposedly she had driven off in is sitting in there underneath the cart. So she sees the license plates and she starts getting up, and that's when Jackson comes from behind her with the shotgun, and things get a little tense, because it's like, I thought again, where I really loved how she played it, Agent Francis. Like, she
Right,
didn't,
because she's like, oh yeah,
totally,
just
yeah,
talking
totally
away.
cool and calm, on his side right away. We're here to find your wife and your kid.
Which he doesn't like. He wants them, but he doesn't seem like he's too. He's just worried about them on the property more than it seems than finding his family.
Yeah, because he has something to hide. He's trying to hide, he's hiding a lot of things.
Which he tries to get her, but the deputy comes up and
Yeah.
he's like, "Yo, over here," like
Yeah,
talking to him, and
yeah.
then she's like, "Bam!" takes his gun.
And yeah, well, he comes up there. I mean, Colt is. I think Sean Ashmore really he stole just about every scene he was in. He comes up there, like, like he knows Jackson, or he thinks he knows the Jackson. He comes up there and he's come up there with his hands like this. Small town cop knows everybody, right? Comes up there with his hands like, hey, we're not here to hurt anybody. We're just, that's a federal agent. You don't want to be hurting her, and like calming him down. Like he was trying to calm him down and was doing that. And then, of course, Agent Francis gets tired of having a shotgun on her, and she turns around and disarms him and knocks the
She
shit
sure
out of him.
did, like a champ.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Ben knows how to do that.
Well, Ben has a lot of practice, though. He has a lot. He has to fight hard every Saturday night, right, Ben?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's right. People want to see people want to see a fight. Go to Ben's house on Saturday night, pizza night.
I kind of have been doing pizza night on Fridays. Now there's no stream.
No.
I'm still, my goal in life before I leave this planet is still to see Ben filming the boys having pizza.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cat's over there doing something. What are you doing, kitty? He's burying his food.
Awesome.
He's like, he wants to just bury around his bowl. I guess that tells me he's done with it.
Yeah.
So he gets cuffed, and she heads to the basement because she's hearing stuff down there.
Right.
And, she finds a cage.
What about the where she walks up to the door, and Jackson and Colt are there. Colt handcuffs him, and she walks up to the door, and Jackson hasn't said anything, but Agent Francis notices yet another booby trap.
Mm-hmm.
Like the house is so booby trapped. She goes, Jesus Christ, because there it was, right?
Right, yeah, the tripwire right there.
Oh my Lord! I mean,
come up to the door. It's like, what in the hell? Yeah.
Yeah. So she very carefully, very gingerly,
steps over it.
enters the house.
Goes in the basement and finds that cage. Some sticky icky thing.
Well, yeah, and while she's checking that out, Jackson's working hard at because Colt and him are friends.
Mm-hmm.
So Colt puts on the handcuffs, but he doesn't really like cinch him in or anything. He's just like, and we see that Jackson has been working the handcuffs, and he gets out of them. And then we see Colt's real metal. We see Colt like before we see him sort of like he's a nice guy,
sweet and laid back.
Yeah, but when he breaks out of the handcuffs and stands up,
as quick as she did it.
Yeah, he put him right back down with that elbow to the mug. I thought that was badass right there. I thought that was badass.
There's Kitty. He doesn't like being on camera.
Most cats don't. Most cats don't.
He's like, no, he's not a holder. He'll come to you and lay on you, but he doesn't like to be picked up.
Oh, right? No, he's one of those. Yeah.
Oh, he's out of his. He just laid on all the DVDs. Okay. You okay? Come on now. Yeah, she pokes that squishy thing with a stick or something, and then she sees there's an alien in the cage.
I was going to ask you guys.
Freak out if you find something like that in the basement.
I was going to ask you guys. Ben, I'll start with you. But do you think they showed the creature too early in the movie?
I think the best part of the movie was like sort of before I knew what the general plot line was going to be, like the anticipation, the questioning, like, what is this about? Because I didn't know anything about this movie. So maybe they showed it too early. They could have drawn that out, but I feel like, yeah. I feel like this movie had like so much potential. I thought like the
Mhm.
director did a good job, but the story was kind of the weak point. Some of the dialogue too there at the end, but so like I mean that's the story. You know, there's an alien, so I mean like of course you got it. You're going to show him. I mean, how much? I guess they could have drawn it out a little more.
Like I said, I mean, I think one thing they didn't do a service to the movie, and that is, I know, IFC has dual covers, and the one that were, was sitting on the shelf. Every time I saw it on the shelf, it was always this one, and I was a little bit bummed because after watching the movie and you come back and look at the cover, you realize that they gave it a lot of it away by showing the creature. Like the one that Mary showed, it just showed just the three cast members and
Right, just
no
this one.
creature. And I think to me, it's like that sort of builds suspense right there. Like you don't know what's going on. I mean, you already know when you see this, you already know what's coming.
Well, I
And
thought maybe it was this creature. I didn't think it was sci-fi.
oh, like a mutation.
Mm-hmm.
I still thought
Yeah.
they showed. I still thought they should have hid the creature, better. And I don't know. I just thought that. Hey, brother Max. Um, I thought they should have just waited just a little bit more. Just maybe just a tad bit more. But you're
Well,
right.
he's
I mean, but her reaction. I mean, her reaction. I think if my reaction would have seen that, I probably would have been like running up the stairs.
yeah. That's what pretty much she was like. What the hell? It's a demon, he said, a
Yeah.
servant of the
She
beast.
was. I mean, I love her character. I love her character's demeanor, Asian Francis' demeanor. But I think that's probably one thing they probably should have done a little bit better is to show the fear of it. Like, she's sitting down there and she's like looking at it and like, okay, what the, to me, it's like something like that down there. I'm not going to be sticking around and wondering about it. I'm going to be like trying to get to a safe spot
Maybe get a better flashlight.
or
I
something
mean,
like that.
it's clearly locked up and has been locked up, right? So like, you know, she's like a preseason veteran. There's no reason why she would be like run away, dude. She's probably like, you know, talked to Mulder and shit before, and it was all like, oh yeah,
Well,
alien.
I was thinking
I watch X Files.
at least go back halfway up the staircase. Like, what the, like go down there, you see it, and go like, what the fuck? And then you turn back around and go like, okay, what did I just see? And then then go back down and take a closer look at it. I
But
was,
she's an investigator, dude. She's like a badass FBI investigator. There's no reason for her
Kung
to be
Fu
friends.
skills.
Yeah, she got kung fu skills, dude.
he possesses great skills. Uh, yeah, the creature was well done.
Yeah, it
Um,
was. It was pretty neat looking.
yeah. Practical effects, by the way,
That's good.
everybody. Yes, that's what gets this movie a big thumbs up for me is the
Yeah,
practical
I
effect.
like practical. No
Yeah,
CGIs.
no CGI, no CGI here.
I
All
guess he's holding it
practical.
hostage, right?
Well, yeah, that when they start asking Jackson, like action Jackson, asking Jackson, about it, and then he starts telling them what like what's going on, like this. They took my son, they took my wife, and now I'm holding this back, and we're gonna do an exchange, and the chorus is a cult, and Francis are looking at each other, going like, like what's what what?
Yeah, the freaky storm's coming because they put him in the car, and it's like getting darker and darker.
Right, and the lightning started going everywhere. Um,
It's like Florida
yeah,
weather.
yeah.
The storm came on quick.
Um,
That was a creepy one too.
yeah,
The,
and
the lightning strikes.
yeah, they get Jackson out of the car, cop car, and then they go inside the house with him. Like, okay, let's go in the house, and then he starts telling them that the story. Um, And of course by this time too, they find out that their car is dead. They are. Oh no, I guess that came out a
That,
little bit
that
later.
big vortex above them too.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah,
creepy.
that's what Cole saw that, and then was staring at it and going, "Oh my God, what?" And then Agent Francis sees it too, and it's that huge whirling mass. Um.
That's when the deputy gets nailed by
Uh.
the trip line.
Oh no, that came later on.
I thought
That
he
came.
went running up there. He says the lightning, and then runs for the house, but
Didn't they go out there to when they brought Jackson
he
and then they went
forgot
back to the
about the
phone.
trip line and got
Right.
nailed.
And they went out there to get the car to see about their car, and the car was dead. They
Yep,
found the car.
everything's done. The
Um,
phone's a brick, she said.
I hadn't heard that term for a dead phone until I heard that, and then I heard it again. First time I ever heard a phone described like that, like it's bricked, and then the second time I heard it was just today on an episode of Haven.
Well, that's
Heard,
that. The old ones were as heavy as a brick, I guess.
Well, no,
yeah,
it's just useless. It's like it's completely dead. It means it's bricked out. There's no nothing.
yeah.
Not
Unresponsive.
like it's
It's
heavy
like,
like a brick.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, Colt does get zinged by that same tripwire, and she yells at him too. She says, "Wait, wait!" And he runs up there and he gets pinged in the knee
Yeah.
by a bolt. But luckily, no major damage.
Crossbow action.
Oh man, that was. And then she asked him, "It's like, you know." Says, "Have you had worse?" And he goes, "No, no. This is pretty it. This is. I'd like to say I've had worse, but I'd be lying."
It's a small town cop. That's good.
Yeah,
You
small
don't need to
town.
be having bullet holes through you like 50 cents.
Oh my God, 50
And
cent. I
then
think.
because the lightning struck, right? Isn't that like it says? He could see somebody out in the field after the lightning,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
Isn't that
but we
that's when
couldn't.
he finds his wife out there? They
Yeah,
still
we could.
got him cuffed
Yeah,
up.
we couldn't see. Yeah, we couldn't see the creature. But Jackson did. I mean, he's yelling and he's barking inside the house, and says, "You don't know what you guys got yourself into," and all that. And it's like, well, why don't you start talking about it? Like, tell us what's going on. And
He's got anger issues.
oh, yeah. Well, we find out later he has damn good reason because
But they
that's
go out and they find her in the field though
yes.
after all that
Uh,
lightning and shit.
I have to say one thing about this cast too. Clay Staub, who wrote and directed this movie, whoever his casting director was, knew what the hell they were doing. This cast has done a lot of science fiction and a lot of fantasy, superhero type movies, and I think that really elevates this movie because they've acted in those genres before, and you can definitely feel like the acting's really good. It's way above average for me.
For
Because
IFC, sometimes it's can be
well,
mediocre for
well,
IFC, but
I mean, not
it's the
well.
story that's you know
I
the acting's better.
I thought the acting was really good in this movie because, like I said, they were in. Milo was in Heroes. Sean Ashmore did the X-Men movie. Um, of course, we just talked about Jonathan Frakes, who did Star Trek, and then we have the wife, which is played by Bridget Regan, and she did Legend of the Seeker. Everybody has a background in science fiction and fantasy, or space or whatever, and I just felt that they did a good job with in this movie. A lot of actors who don't have that much experience, you could tell by their acting that they really don't know how to react to a creature, or the subject matter itself. You can see him struggling a little bit, and people always talk about that. Like they didn't really seem to know what they were doing, or the acting was wooden, or what. It's hard to act in science fiction, and like in like a movie like this. I think it's a real challenge.
For sure.
Um, in fact, I mean, Ben, you and we watched our fair share of kaiju movies, of course. I mean, it's like watching the Japanese actors in a Godzilla movie. One thing you sit there and say about Godzilla movies is their cast, they believe the shit that they're seeing. If someone's telling them there's Godzilla, down the street, they act like there's Godzilla down the street. They take it seriously. I mean, they don't. There's no hamming it up. The actors they're they're into it. They're into the roles, and it really helps make the movie stand out. I mean, to me, what do you think, Ben?
I thought the cast was good. I thought the acting was pretty decent for the most part, but then I felt like the wife's acting at the end, sort of like in the climactic scenes at the end, was kind of weak, to be honest with you. Part of it was the dialogue and the whole, just like, I don't know, the whole way that was playing out. So maybe it was not completely her fault, but
Yeah, they did. It did seem like they weakened her a little bit, like because beforehand she was, after she came back and they rescued her. I mean, yeah, she looked like she was terrified until all of a sudden then she starts finding out, then we start finding out about her and Jackson's marriage, and then of course the big reveal. And but yeah, the ending, when the ending after they get back, Jonah. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that part of the story was weak, but
why
no fault.
why even did she come back? Like, there was just a
Well, he
storm and
failed.
she escaped, or like why would they let her go? Why didn't they replace her or whatever?
She's their Ager.
I think they're offering her as an incentive.
You make the babies.
Well, yeah, they're offering her and offering him an incentive, like, listen, here we are, we'll give back your wife, in good faith, now bring us back our guy, and then we'll exchange then.
Minus an arm.
I mean,
Well,
I don't think like they had that kind of dialogue. It was just a random event, like, oh, like FBI has come through. It wasn't like, I don't think they had like, oh, hey, 4 p.m. come back with my wife and then we'll do the trade. I think it was just like, to me, it didn't make that much sense. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I tell you what really, is interesting is when they brought her back, and and again, the humanity shows with her and Colt, as he's handcuffed, and she says, "Let me take off the handcuffs so I can take care of my wife," and she does it, and I thought that was I like that. I actually did. I actually thought that was, it showed her humanity. They
Yeah,
pick up.
pick out something nice for his wife to wear.
Right, right. Then we get inside, and then we find out this is the whole movie changes, and then we find I gotta admit, man, when that moment came, I was so shocked too. So we find out that Jackson is not Jackson. Used to be Jackson.
Yeah, he's getting flashes and stuff.
Right. When he
Like
goes
he
down
was yanking around the alien with the deputy in the cage. And
yep, and
I
then
think he's like, "Rrr." He
he
read
touches
his
them.
brain.
It's almost like you've forgotten, or he just jump started, and he touches Jackson, and lo and behold, we find that they have switched out Jackson, and the real Jackson was just turned into a mess. It's like they, I mean, when he's sitting there, next thing you know, he's like he gets destroyed, and
Yeah, he didn't remember any of
yeah,
that. He thought he was just
he thought he was
himself.
Jackson. Yeah, no, he was actually one of them in human form, and you know his memories were incomplete. I mean, or slow to come to him.
Now, was his dog not part alien?
I don't know.
You
I
know,
mean,
they
you know,
killed it, but don't you think they should have did something
the
with his
dog
dog?
barked. The dog barked throughout the whole movie. If you think about it, that dog was barking from the first scene to his last scene. He was barking at the creature. He was barking up the stairs. He was barking outside. Earl, he was nonstop barking. I'm sure he was confused. I'm sure his smell. If you think about it. He had he had he had taken his wife's miscarriages and put them in small boxes. I'm sure
Right.
they I'm sure they stunk to shit. I don't those boxes weren't seal proof. I'm sure
No, but they
that
look
dog
kind of mummified.
right.
They were there for a while.
I'm sure that dog smelled that shit 24/7. It's hard to know. I don't know if the dog could have, like, okay, my owner is an alien. I'm not sure if he could have discerned that because the smell would have been all through the house. So, including the son, Jonah. He was 5 years old, so he's been in the house for 5 years. And I wish we would have saw some interaction
He's
between
gone
Earl.
nose blind.
Yeah, because they used the dog as he used the dog as like a guard dog, to detect or hear aliens. But he's in the house full of aliens and not just the one that's captured. So his barking incessantly, how could you tell what he was barking at? How could you tell?
Well,
Was his
firstly, Jonah was a human alien hybrid. He wasn't straight alien. And secondly, I feel like the dad, like, it didn't really make that much sense. Like, I felt like he wasn't actually an alien. He was like something they created, but it wasn't like a straight alien human suit or something. You know what I
cloned
mean?
him a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the human got killed.
yeah.
He got, he
So
got, yeah, he got.
I feel like they didn't actually explain really like what the fuck he was. Only that the real person that he was supposed to be, he had replaced him by the aliens did it, and now he's got a hybrid human alien son. I don't know. I felt like a little bit of a butthole for me personally.
I'm trying to think of a movie or a scene where that's like they. Oh, I know what it was. Dead and Buried. Did you ever see a movie called Dead and Buried from
Yeah,
I think so.
from the 80s?
of course.
And the sheriff is the sheriff's going around this town trying to investigate all these murders. And it turns out that he's one of them. He's like a puppet.
It's been
He
a
was-
long time.
Spoiler
I
alert.
have it.
Jack Albertson played he played like the creator. And James Franciscus played the James Ferrantino. He played the cop, and he's investigating all these weird cult-like murders. And they all find out that they're just like puppets.
I was
And-
filmed up in Mendocino.
Huh?
I was filmed
Yeah.
up in Mendocino. I went up. I did a trip to there's a few buildings in this town that I went to from that movie.
It's a great movie, but that's the sort of remind me of that. Like, he doesn't realize that he's not really real. He thinks that this is all he's human, but he's not really. And then he finds out, it's like, oh, I'm not really. And I think that's what when Jackson, especially after his wife came in there and started sitting there going like, you're not my husband. You changed.
Yeah, and he made her feel bad about the babies she had, like
Mhm.
abominations. It seemed
Yeah,
like
his
desecration
wife
by
was-
leaving them in the way they did, putting them in the
his
boxes.
wife was not happy. He sort of had a a foreboding, for like foreshadowing, like I don't think she's gonna really like him too much, and I think she's gonna like want to discuss it, in the future. And after she finds out that her human husband has been killed and he's been replaced.
And he electrified the house too. That's
Yeah.
why they use the generator too. Is to zap
So
them, I guess.
it was really weird because it's like, because they did a good job hiding that, before the reveal. They did a good job hiding it. There wasn't anything that he did or said that, gave you any inclination that he had been replaced himself.
Right.
So, and then they found out. Then they started talking about the farm, like how they keep the farm going after, like they weren't bringing in any crops.
And that his father had shot himself
Hmm.
prior to
I think
all
the
this
father
shit.
did that. I think the father shot himself. I think he must have realized, he must have known or found out what was going
That,
on.
I mean, was he cloned himself?
That's the thing.
There was so many discs. It's each generation got a disc.
Yeah.
It got
I
a
get
bit
that.
convoluted there towards the end, to be honest with you. I felt like, I think by the time all that shit was playing out, I was like, oh man, and this had such like strong potential. Yeah. But I think they just threw a bit too much shit at the wall. I think like it would have like it would have been more interesting to focus on him, like, the psychological aspects of him finding out that he's not who he thought he was, or like almost anything other than like the way it ended up going.
I keep hearing a cat meowing. Sorry.
He's just offering. He's just auditioning for Haas's spot.
Yeah, there is a cat. Come here. Come over here with us.
Um,
Yeah, he's like, I have no soul. My family's been used for lab rats, which
right.
they were.
And then we, and what's interesting too was, it's like when the alien came in there and and approached her and ran his finger down her into her stomach, and and you're thinking, okay, did he just mate with her right now? I mean, did the alien just, because the way
Yeah,
she
did he
was,
impregnate her?
yeah, yeah, it sort of seemed like, didn't it?
Yeah. She was like, oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's the
Right.
alien ticket. But it seemed like
It's
it.
better than ET's, I guess.
Her whole demeanor changed too. I mean,
Yeah.
she was like, and I did not see her demeanor changing that much, after after they got Jonah back, and then Jackson's gonna, end the bloodline, like, okay, even though I don't know how is he gonna do that. Was he gonna kill the child and then himself,
Yeah.
because he was part of the bloodline.
Yeah,
And
he
the
was
thing
going to
is,
kill himself, too.
yeah, and then I, I don't think he realized how deep, it went. It was beyond the farm. I think. I think I
Yeah, yeah. I think it's been going on maybe on more than just their
know,
farm,
um
right?
I
Wasn't
like
there
it.
more than one ship?
Right. Yeah. I don't think it was just the one ship. Especially rewatching it and watching the sheriff, and you going at the end of the movie, you're going like, that
He's
sheriff.
acting too funny, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an alien. He just like, yeah. Poor Colt though. Colt.
Oh, yeah, he was protecting him, and the
Yeah.
alien came in and just tore his ass up.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, he got lit up.
And that was a nice character.
Yeah, I thought that was what that, as far as Agent Francis go, was like, wow, I was sort of wrong for her to do that. I mean, there's strength in numbers. You don't put out a solo guy out there against an alien. You're gonna go out there with as much firepower as you can, united. You know, that would have
Yeah, they
been,
kind of like, oh, you go out there and defend.
yeah.
Well, you're a federal agent. You get out there too.
Yeah, and she already said she shot at it, and she shot it. She shot at it. It was disappeared on her. So it's like I shot it. I think I shot it. Okay, so you're not really sure, even though you're point blank, but yet you're going to send out the other ally out that you have. You're going to go ahead and send him up there by
Little
himself.
county cop he's like Fife. He's never shot his gun before, except in shooting range or training.
Right.
You're gonna take down the aliens.
But he went out on his feet. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he did.
He went out on his feet. I mean, there was no, wasn't, he wasn't, he was brave. He was very. I love the character. I thought Colt was a great character.
Yes.
And I definitely was sad to see him die. I thought that, I thought he deserved better than that. I wasn't.
But he did fight. He fought to the end, like you said.
Yeah.
It would have been nice of others to back him up, too. Then when Jackson took the kid out to the field, I guess he was gonna shoot.
He was gonna shoot.
Handgun. He was gonna shoot the kid. He was gonna shoot him in the head, and FBI agent Daria came out like, "Don't do it." And that's what he said. He's trying to end the bloodline, and then you see blood splatter. You don't know whose it is at first. I thought he did shoot the kid. And
it's like when I saw the shot, I'm like, okay, like she's got a big gun, like, and the way that he was standing, the kid was in front of him. I mean, she was so close that the bullet would have went through him and probably hit the kid.
That was a shotgun.
and I was thinking about with Agent Francis, and then here comes Mom comes out with a shotgun, and it looked to be like solid shot, and she blasts him.
Wasn't that a rifle, not a shotgun?
Was it a rifle?
Yeah, I think it was a rifle.
Yeah.
Jeez, still that's even worse.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Get a shotgun and it'd be like little pebble things hitting you, but unless it's shot,
I think it was a rifle. That would have got them both.
Maybe if it was like a 40 cal or something, you don't know what kind of rifle it was. Could have been like a little 22. Who knows, right?
Bing. It didn't sound like a 22.
But still, I wouldn't shoot at somebody, with my son in front of them like that. I would have tried to separate them before I pulled the trigger, because I wouldn't be able to take a chance of, because you're shooting center mass on the guy, and there's still a good chance that it could come out and hit your boy.
She's a pro, dude.
Huh?
She was a pro. She was like
farm girls know how to shoot.
They didn't get into that, but she used to be a sniper in the military.
Yes. Her and Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
And who else was I think Dr. Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo. I think he was a sniper in real time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers was a badass too.
Yeah, both of them saw combat, if I'm not mistaken.
And so did Bob Ross. That's why he always wanted to paint happy clouds. I think he saw some action. Poor baby.
Bob Ross.
Poor Bob Ross.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
And then the big boom, they had a big, something. The disc blew up.
Right. They moved, and of course the mom's going like, protecting her son at all costs, and she has her gun on Agent Francis, and they're going, I'm not letting anybody take my son, and they're gonna go ahead and do tests on him, and Agent Francis,
they probably would.
I mean, they're of course Colt was sitting there going like, they're going to take us over, like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They're going to take us over. They're going to be, they're already infiltrating us. We have no chance. That was something he was already fearful of. And and of course Agent Francis starts thinking about that too.
And she said to Riker about her grandfather being so much a percentage Indian. Are they going to be proud to be percentage of us?
Well, you know what? Okay, to me, it's like if you're Agent Francis and you've seen all that you can see right now, including the infiltration part. I mean, wouldn't you like get the mom to lower her gun, so to speak,
Mhm.
and take them both out?
Maybe. That'd be kind of the end of it, you would think, though, but it's not.
I mean, I mean, think if you saw what you saw and everything else, and you know that Jonah is an alien, and the mom has been impregnated at least 6 times.
There
Wouldn't
was
you
that
just
whole like subplot where she felt guilty for a past event that happened because she didn't take action or because she took the wrong action or whatever.
She took the girl from a place and took her back home, and I
Yeah.
think it ended up being abusive.
Yeah,
Right.
so I
And
think this
she
time
went
around
there.
she was trying to like set things right, this time. That's
Right.
at least how I've interpreting it.
Yep, she did.
I mean, the right thing. I mean, God's hard to sit there and say this, but the right thing that she should have done was get the mom to lower the weapon and then take them both out.
She wasn't going to do that. She's going to take out a special agent. She didn't agree.
I mean, but I'm sure her training was there, and like, I mean, honestly, it's like, how are you going to explain what happened? I mean, I'm sure she's sitting in the back of the car going like, well, I tried doing it the right way and wrote out a report based on everything that I experienced. That was the right way to do it, but it wasn't the best thing that she could have done. It was the right thing, but it was not the best. The best would have been to shoot them both and shoot them both. They're both, you know, she was being used by the aliens as the human incubator, and he
Yeah,
was,
she was. And they
he
were
was on
like, here's another little deformed baby.
it.
Because I don't, and then I don't know, was she having the miscarriages or were they coming out
I
like
don't know,
alien
and then
like?
Jonah took him too. After she was knocked out, Jonah took. She said that's what she said. She said Jonah took the babies, but looking back at it, I don't think he did take the babies. I think she hit him.
I thought the alien took the babies.
I don't know. I didn't see him. I didn't see him do that.
Me
I
either, but
and she said that Jackson did it, but I didn't see the alien. I think she hit him. And of course, and at the end when they all roll out to the farm and everything, and the sheriff coming out there and just basically just completely dismissing her entire experience. Like, if you continue to talk like this, you're gonna end up, in a rubber room drinking a lithium shake.
wait.
It wasn't a necessarily forecast, but it was a it's like you make enough noise, and we're gonna go ahead and
We're gonna lock in a crazy
Mhm.
house because
Yeah.
he had this experience.
So to me, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, he's at 100% absolutely, and no emotion about Colt. Like,
Yeah, right.
there's no emotion about that. No, like, how did that happen, and
Yeah, he
he's a
said
good
that
man,
Pritchard did that to Colt. He
right?
wasn't that strong.
Yeah. So but then you get the idea, like, okay, so the sheriff's in on it. And then afterwards, then the mid credit scene, and then we see the eggs that like Jonah comes out there and says, and God, that kid they picked to play Jonah, perfect. That kid looked like he could be on an Omen movie. We could have named him Damien. That kid he looked possessed. Oof, that kid was creepy looking. No
And
makeup.
and then they go to the farm and flash to the mom finding him out there. And what do you say? It's harvest time or something?
Yeah, and they had all the eggs there, all the embryos. So they have, I guess they had perfected the perfected the hybrids.
I couldn't tell what they were. I couldn't tell if they're eggs or if they're like
I think they were supposed to be eggs.
a ton of discs.
I think they were supposed to be eggs, and they're going to be hatched out. And I guess that's what they've been doing. I guess that's what they've been doing, all along. The various generations. Yeah.
That's it.
That was it.
Finn.
Man, Shark Fin. I like this movie. I know that Ben wasn't quite as enamored.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, definitely different. I thought the acting definitely elevated the movie. I mean,
I like the actors.
I don't think if we had the cast that we had, I don't think this movie would have been nearly as good. So I think the cast definitely saved it. I think it helped, to me anyway. It sort of overcame the storyline. Like, okay, it was not the best ending story, but they did the best they could, and they had a good cast. And I'm in it. I'm in it. I give bonus for practical effects. Definitely have to give it.
Yeah, I like them.
I mean, for us, IFC Midnight movie too, they spent some money on this movie. I mean, those special effects weren't cheap. The lightning and stuff like that.
The lightning was pretty cool. I liked the big cloud above the farm.
I liked the set design. The set design was really good. The Jackson's house. Well, that was really good. I mean, the whole good kills. Jesus,
they did Earl in.
Yeah, they had some bangers in this movie about
cut the dog up and had him up on the roof.
all they needed to do is put a doghouse up there.
Yep.
Poor Earl. What was that Dixie Chick song? Goodbye, Earl.
Goodbye, Earl.
No. Earl deserved a better fate than that.
I mean, my husband, he liked it. He watched it, so he wasn't. He's used to all the other stuff I watch, so it wasn't that bad.
I like the director. I thought he did a good job too, as far as direction goes. I thought Clay Staub did very well. I just I just think that they needed, like Ben said, I think they needed a little bit more clarification, and the ending could have been a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely give my hats off to Sean Ashmore for playing Colt. I think he was the best thing in this movie for me.
I only gave it like around a 6, but I still like it. I mean, I'm not high on the points, but
I give it a 7.5.
You think a 7.5? What's your?
It probably goes 6. I thought it was frustrating because there was a lot of potential. It was a good cast. I thought the director was good and the setup was interesting, but like ultimately it was frustrating because it fell flat for me. Got a little too convoluted and a little too like heavy-handed and like I don't know. That's why it was sort of like more frustrating than if it just sucked all the way through. I might have liked that.
Oh, you were so good here, and then
I'm gonna look up Clay Staub and see if he's done anything else other than this. Okay.
Clay Straub.
Yeah, let's see. He has been around for a while.
I know the guy that plays Jack Pritchard, whatever Jackson. He's on
Well,
That's My Boy with Adam Sandler movie.
well,
Guys,
he hasn't
I gotta get,
directed it.
I gotta get going here pretty soon. So let's. I'm either gonna have to leave.
Okay. Do you have an idea what we're watching next month, Ben?
I think if we're gonna go with Shutter Originals, I think we should go with my favorite Shutter original, but I've only seen it once. I think Anything for Jackson. Let's do that one.
Anything for Jackson.
Anything for Jackson. Okay.
I don't know if it's available. I know it's available on Shutter. I don't know if it's available anywhere else for free or anything.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
It's an interesting one. It's a good one.
Anything for Jackson. Who's in it?
A bunch of people.
Right.
They're actors and stuff.
Yeah, there is a couple actors and actresses. It's a cool movie. Another one with a strange, interesting setup that sort of walks a line between like black comedy and actually like not like scary as well. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll have a good discussion on it, I think.
That will be on Sunday on June 29th over at the Cadaver Club's house. So we're all going to go over to Ben's place next in June.
June, what was your time?
June 29th.
29th. June. Okay. All right. Nice.
All right. Okay. If you need to go, Ben, then we will see you in June. If you have any questions or what have you, just let me know.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Peace.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.
Bye.
Say hi to the boys for us. Yeah.
You see my shirt? See my shirt?
Does it say Bates Motel? Oh, Bates.
Yeah. Bates Motel. I drew that picture and I put it on the shirt.
Yeah, this has still been the only movie that Clay Staub has actually directed. But he has worked. Yeah, but he has worked on various other movies since then. He's worked on the DC movies.
Well, I can't give him shit for at first time then.
No, I thought
I would have gave him higher points just for being his first time movie.
Yeah, I have seen a lot worse first time directors.
Heck yeah.
This was a really good one. I think I liked it. I liked it.
Anything for Jackson is a 2020 horror supernatural.
Ooh.
Not rated. And it says where to watch is on Tubi.
Oh, good. Yay.
Yeah, that's the best channel.
That's the best. Anything for Tubi. Anything for Tubi. Okay. Anything for Jackson. A bereaved Satanist couple kidnap a pregnant woman so they can use an ancient spell book to put their dead grandson's spirit into her unborn child. Holy, did we just do this tonight? But they use science fiction to, okay.
That movie sounds familiar. I swear I've seen it.
Let's see.
You're describing it. It's like,
Let's see. It's streaming on AMC. And it says here AMC and Tubi and Prime Video.
But if it's on Tubi, you know what? It's free.
Yay, free.
Free. It's always a winner.
Sheila McCarthy, Julian Richings, Josh Krudas, don't know her. Constantina Mentelos, don't know her. Yannick Bisson, I know who that is. That's the main star from the Murdoch Mysteries. All right. So this is a Canadian film.
It's a good one, eh?
Oh my gosh, Jane Eastwood was in this. Well, that must have been before she passed away. I thought she passed away. Didn't she? Didn't she pass away? I thought.
Eastwood.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, maybe I guess not. I thought she passed away.
Isn't that funny? You think somebody passed away and they didn't? That's great though.
No, but yeah, I'm glad she didn't. She was in Dawn of the Dead. She was a badass.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yep, yeah. She took out the Mekhi Pfeiffer and or yeah, Mekhi Pfeiffer. Remember his
It's
girlfriend?
one of my favorite ones actually. I like that one.
Yeah, she played that trucker lady. She was cool. Uh, all right, boys and girls, we'll go ahead and wrap this up and say thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. If you're
And
new,
happy Memorial Day.
happy Memorial Day. Hey, Jim, how are you? How are you? Let's see it. Jim says he has nothing to say about this film as I've not seen it. I would say you could go over to Tubi and see it, but it's not playing on Tubi right now. But
Yeah, it was last month.
it'll probably be
I
playing on
found
Shudder.
it on YouTube, but it
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah, but it didn't like say that it was it was somebody had put it up there, and I could see that it said an hour and something. I said, aha,
Uh-huh. Uh,
that's gotta be
yeah.
it.
But this was a banger for sure. I'm glad you picked this one out. Then next month will be our first Shudder film. Anything for Jackson, that'll be cool. And the reason why we're doing Shutter, let you guys know, we're including Shutter films, is because IFC and Shutter are sister companies, and they're now doing a lot of co-releases. And I think they have decided that IFC Midnight is redundant. So I don't think I don't think there will be any more IFC Midnights, but they will be releasing still horror films underneath the IFC banner, including the one I really cannot wait to see, June 6th, Dangerous Animals. That
Oh yeah,
looks
the
like
one that one you sent me the trailer for. Oh my
mhm.
god, yeah,
That
that
looks
one.
terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking that is that's the scary shit because that looks like it could happen.
Yeah.
And you know the funny thing is, I can actually see some dumbasses going out there and trying to do this as a dare, like with their friends, like put some chum in the water and put me down. I'm gonna see how long I can stay with my feet in the water. I can
You
actually
don't have
see
to.
some dumb.
You can just splash around a little bit. That gets their attention.
Uh, Weapons looks pretty solid. I saw the previews for that as well.
Right with the
Um,
little kids,
yeah,
the little kids running out of the house.
that looks really good. But Dangerous Animals is probably right now the movie for me to see this summer. That looks absolutely crazy. Uh, yes, even more so than Superman. That looks like just to be a terrifying movie. I'm just thinking that's and it has a really good actor as the villain in Jai Courtney. That guy's really good, and he's freaky looking when he wants to be.
Are they having
So
another Superman movie or something? Or
yeah,
what?
yeah, James Gunn. I know, right? Here we go with another Superman movie, but
Why did they hate? What happened? What did Henry do that they
nothing.
got rid of him on everything?
Nothing. I just I don't really have any faith in this movie coming up. I don't have
Well,
any
they got
faith.
rid of him. They got rid of him on The Witcher too.
Did they?
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
not
I
on The
thought he
Witcher anymore. It
I
was
thought
supposed to
I
be
thought
a
he.
Helmsworth or something took his
Oh,
place.
yeah, and I agree with you, Jim. That is also the other movie I want to see too. Is The Long Walk. I think The Long Walk's going to be just like The Mist. Whereas
Oh,
the director of the movie's going to be much better than the novella. Oh, Harry Cavill is doing the Highlander remake.
oh, okay.
Okay,
That's okay then.
yeah, well, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
good.
I mean, he's a good actor. I don't. They just cut him on it. They're all about Momoa, and I love Jason Momoa, but
You know,
God,
I have a feeling definitely for sure the Harry. I mean, I like Christopher Lambert as well as anybody, and Adrian Paul, but I think Harry can. I think he can do both. Think he can outdo both. Let's see, the cavalry. Is that what they call their fans? I know.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's what Jim said. The cavalry.
Ow.
All I know too is I was just like, man, I feel really bad for him, in the sense that he did get pushed out from DC, especially the Calverine. Okay, so Wolverine. Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was what if that's what the fan base calls them. But it's a Wolverine joke. All I know is that DC was they definitely made a mistake into they made a lot of mistakes. God, if we talked about that, we'd be here for another 3 hours. But
I got. I'll show you.
oh,
I made a 2-part picture. You gotta put it together though. See?
is that Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, I got it at the thrift store the other day, so I
Where's
did.
where's the record? Remember they throw the records at the
Yeah,
zombie?
this is right after they went in the shed and got their shovel and his
Uh-huh.
wicket out of the shed. he
That's
went and got all their coffee cups and jars and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a laundry basket.
you got a really nice haul this time. And what store did you get your movies from?
I went up to the Sheriff's Ranch thrift store.
Yeah, that was a
And
nice one.
they I guess had a lot of goodies this time. I never seen this one alone. Have you ever seen this? It
No,
looks
I
real
haven't seen it
spooky.
either. I
Looks
haven't seen
scary.
it either. I put out the new 4 films that you guys can vote on for dollar theater, the voters edition. I even did something really unexpected. I even put up a A24 film up there. People seem to think I hate A24. I don't hate A24. I just hate Hereditary. Hereditary is like the devil. But
It's like a beast.
no, yeah.
And about this one,
God,
but it's not the old. It's not the Rucker Hauer Hitcher.
which
It's a
one?
remake or
Oh,
something.
isn't that Sean Bean? Didn't he do that?
Let's see. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I heard
Isn't
it's
that?
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Sean Bean.
You
Yep.
know he dies at the end because Sean Bean always dies at the end.
Really? Yes.
Yeah, there won't be
this
any
is
sequel.
Hollywood Video.
There won't be any sequels here. Jim says the first Reformed is really good. So Jim, you can go over there to my community tab and vote for this movie
First Reformed. Is that Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke. But I also got Red Hill. Now I've seen Red Hill before. Red Hill is. I wish it was an IFC film because we'd be doing that already. Red Hill is awesome. It's an awesome movie. Hell, it made me cry actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's a great movie. It's a great movie. And then we put up Supremacy with Danny Glover and Joe Anderson. This looks to be a really good movie as well. And then we put Bruce Willis and Hayden Christensen in First Kill.
I like Hayden.
How about that? Bruce
I
Willis.
like a Brucey.
Mm-hmm. Now I think this was written. Let's see. Yes, this was directed by Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller. He's a good director, a good action director. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. All right. What do you got going on your channel, Mary? Next week?
Nothing much. Been going through my movies and going through stuff, finding out all the doubles and triples, quadruples. Like the 5 Spider-Mans I found I had.
They say Finding Nemo was the most produced movie ever made. I
Really?
think it's Spider-Man 1.
Actually, it's the one. It's Spider-Man 2.1
5,
or something. It's called.
2.0, Lord.
Yeah, I have like 4 or 5 of those.
They milked the hell out of it.
And Wolverine.
Oh, really? The Wolverine? Okay.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of those.
No, I got a few doubles too. What's on Jim's channel this week? We'll ask Jim since he's hanging out with us. What's on Jim's channel? It was funny. Like I don't know if it was this week or last week, but Mr. Dan made a phone call in the morning. He called our group. He hit the call button by mistake. It was like early in the morning, and Jim answers the phone, and we found out one thing that day. Jim is not a morning person. Do not call Jim in the morning. Do not call Jim unless you give him a cup of coffee first. In fact, I say do not call Jim unless you give him 2 cups of coffie.
2 cups.
I've done that before. I've done that before with on Instagram, where you're working around with Instagram and then it'll start ringing somebody up. Man, I've done that.
I went to hit something and then I ended up having you
Yeah,
FaceTime and like, we're going to the beach, buddy.
That's right. You guys went to McDonald's and headed to the beach.
Yep.
But
the birds were happy.
Yeah, but we got to talk to Jim. We got to talk to Jim. We got to talk to Mr. Dan and Kenny. Kenny answered the phone too. Kenny said, "Oh, hello," because I was so surprised to see it. Like, okay, it must be a legit call, so I answered it, and it was Mr. Dan. He said, "I'm so sorry." Like, who's calling me at 8:00 in the morning? Not me, Jim. Not me. It was Mr. Dan.
I've been up for 2 hours.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because you get up at 6.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I just do.
I'm all over the place.
I guess it's because of going through the treatments. You have to get up and go down there and the whole day, and then you just get used to it, I guess.
I went to bed early yesterday, and I woke up at 2, and then it took me about 3 hours to get back to bed. Then I went back to bed at 5. Then I woke up at about 9:40, and of course my alarm bell went off at me because when the cheetah stepped on my head, so that means I had to give him treats. So, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. I don't really have anything on my channel this week. I'll be hanging out with Gareth on Video Tasties on the 27th at 4:00, and that's about it. I don't have anything until the first week of June. So, yeah. Tomorrow night, tomorrow, Monday, head on over to Gory Bee Movies and also Horror Addicts if you're up and about. And they're going to be doing a marathon. I tried to do that for those guys. I completely struck out on Friday. I went up. I was up from 12:30 till 4. I didn't make them a single dime, not once. First time ever since I've been on the tube that I've completely failed. But they're going to be back tomorrow for a marathon to raise some money to help them move. They moved into a house, paid first and last month's rent, paid movers to move them in, and I don't think they've been there more than 3 months. Then the guy wanted his house back. He was going to sell it. I am just flabbergasted. I don't know if they didn't sign a lease or not. Like
right. There's some kind of something that wasn't
super shady.
Yeah,
super shady. It's like, wow. You rent out the house, you get people in, and it's all this first and last months, and it's like then 3 months later, it's like and they spent their whole money doing it, and it takes both of them are working, but it takes time to rebuild your finances when you have to spend so much all at once. So they're still working through this, but they need a little bit of help to find another house and do the same move they did before. So, but they're going to be on tomorrow, Monday. I'm not sure what time it is, but if you're signed up, if you're sub to either Gory B or Horror Addicts, aka Danny Nightmare, and you see him doing a live stream, stop on by. And if you can donate, great. If you can't, share it out. And love those guys both, and hope that it'll work. It'll work out for them. Yeah, that's it for me. All right, for the fourth time, I'm gonna say goodnight. Say goodnight, Mary.
Night, Mary.
Night, Mary. Peace.
Peace.
Another